Also, if you could have your phones on silent, that would be awesome. And if you have to use the washroom, if we could ask if you just wait to the end of a number, and we will head out that way for the washroom and bring you back in with the end of the next number. We're very excited to get going. We'll start in about 4 minutes or so, so get ready for an amazing show. I can't believe I'm standing here talking about the end of the year. I think the older I get, the faster these years tend to go. So it's been an amazing one, and you're in for a treat tonight. And I know that specifically because, a little anecdote, my office is right next to the band room. So from the second they start their first note at the beginning of the semester, I hear the entire progression. And it's been amazing for me to be sort of go along the journey with you guys, and I now know where you are, and it's beautiful the way that these guys have improved over time. So just a quick few thank yous before we get started. I want to turn our attention to these kids. And they work very, very hard, as you know, because you probably hear it at home all the time. But the growth that they've shown throughout not only this semester, but throughout the year is really quite staggering. And I'm very proud of all of you. And you only get to this level because you put a lot of hard work into it. So maybe we could all give them a round of applause for the work that they've done. And on the front here too, the whole band. I want to take a second also to thank the parents. I've been to a number of schools throughout my career where there isn't the expectation at home that kids actually practice their instruments, and we don't get to a level like you're going to see tonight without parent support. So I know what that's like. I had my own children play the trombone and the tuba and the trumpet and the drums, and it's fun to see that at home as well. So I want to thank you, parents, for the support, because we can't get to a great orchestra like this unless we have that. So thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Leif Larson. I'm excited to see you here this evening for a celebration of our year of learning and growing as musicians. I wanted to just make a quick mention that as you were coming in, some of you might have gotten a little note of a star. We encourage you to write down a dedication or a celebration to your child or a group of performers that you're going to hear tonight. We're going to post these up in the band room and really kind of cling on to some of this growth and development that we've heard throughout the school year. Thank you for being here to support music education, and now we're going to get on with the start of our show. We opened with a really fun, it was exciting to put together piece with a little bit of Spanish flair, some rhythmic precision. We're going to change the momentum and the tempo here. Our next song challenges students to play with control and expression. The composer, Adrian Sims, writes about this piece: "On a quiet night, I stepped outside for a brief moment and looked up at the sky above. Everything was still, quiet, and peaceful. I wished that I could stay in the moment and experience that tranquility forever. I was instantly brought to the present moment and was reminded of how wonderful it is to just be. To not worry about what had happened at work or school, and to not feel anxious about what the next day may hold. Moonlight Bliss is a reminder to enjoy the present moment, for that moment will never be present again. We hope you enjoy our performance of Moonlight Bliss." We're going to do something that we have tried and been successful with in getting our students to become a little bit more present in class, especially after lunch or a recess that they might have had. We're going to do an exercise called sloth breath. We're changing the pace on you again, and our piece that we'll play next is an action movie score, back into just a few minutes. I'll give you my best movie trailer voice to give you the scene. On a tropical island, a volcano known to native inhabitants as Thunder Mountain has laid dormant for years. Superstition has it that the last time Thunder Mountain erupted was when outside explorers trespassed up its sacred slopes. Now, as an unaware party of adventurous researchers work atop the legendary mountain, it begins to shake with pre-eruption tremors. Amid seething smoke and simmering magma, the party races down the mountain to safety. Will they make it down in time before it blows? You be the judge. Our next piece is entitled Bloom by a Canadian composer named Kate Nishimura. It's just a beautiful piece of music. Bloom is a musical exploration of the concept that the most courageous of flowers is the one which blooms in the snow, and against all odds and despite adversity. The song is maybe a representation of our beginning band students' growth throughout the year. And more broadly, it kind of serves as a metaphor for our middle school students, how they're developing their own identities as they bloom into young adults. Please enjoy Bloom. We're gonna tip things on its head with our final song of the evening for beginning band. Our last piece is a fanfare, and it usually comes at the beginning of a set of music, but Randall Standridge's Skygazer fanfare is going to be our grand finale for beginning band. The piece is bold and it's triumphant, and it calls us to cast our gaze up at the sky, thinking of our aspirations and looking toward the future. It's a really important exclamation point for the journey that these beginning band students have taken this year. All right, parents and friends and family members, we're going to do this stand up and grab a quick photo. Get your photos ready. We'll go row by row. You can take a picture of your child. Here we go. Percussionistas, can we raise our hands? Smile for the cameras. Hey, thanks, percussion. How about row 5? Would you please stand up? And smile for the camera. Row 4, would you please stand up? Yeah. And let's hear it for row 3. Please stand up. Row 2, would you please stand up? And row 1, would you please stand up? Here it is, your 2025-26 beginning band.